Welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. Whether you're watching us live on YouTube at TradeEZ or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we've got you covered. Subscribe, join the community, and get ready to dive into real talk and real market insights. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephen Kalayjian, and welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. I'm telling you, I've been doing this now 41 and a half years, 42 years this August 1st, and good Lord, you want to talk about volatility? Today was absolutely insane. Just on the last call I had on the market, on the highs, on the S&P futures, I called a short, and the S&P futures were trading at 58.75 and 3/4, and they got absolutely kabooshed in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars in 35 minutes. The S&P futures dropped 107. The NASDAQ futures dropped over 400. Okay, that's right, 400. Okay, so this is extreme volatility. I'm so glad my phone's been blowing up. So many people did so well today. 5 figures I saw, low to mid 5 figures. And I'm telling you, I am just so happy because, you know, the good Lord gave me a gift, and my gift is now to be able to teach each and every one of you the strategies, the ability to read the market, the conditions that I've taught each and every one of you. But most important, these are times not for people to disadvantage themselves by not putting stop orders in. These are fast markets. Okay, when I was in the Chicago Board of Trade and an unemployment number came out and you saw a big F next to the price, it was a fast market. These markets are fast. Just in the last, 10 minutes, the S&Ps went from 68 up to 08. Okay, they ran 40 handles. These are 40 points. These are very, very, very explosive markets here. Down and then up and then down. We saw the S&P futures today trade all the way down to 57.44 and then slingshot all the way up. Okay, after we had that 1035 bear flag, which I'll show you, they dropped again and then they rallied from the lows up to 58.75. They ran 131 points off the lows, right? Yeah, so right, and then they dropped 107. Right. So the volatility is insane. The NASDAQ futures were trading at that time on the lows here. The NASDAQ futures were trading 20,075 and traded all the way up to 20,732. And then they dropped from 20,732 all the way down to the 20,350 and change. These are wild, wild times. Volatility is here. I love it. And this is exactly what, people say to me, how do you handle this? I'm like, I love it. Are you kidding me? I love volatility. Volatility is great. Volatility is what you want. And guess what? It's all about the ability to have the confidence in how you're trading and the ability for taking the software. You have the confidence with the software. You also have me as a mentor. And that's really important. I've seen every market you can think of in the last almost 42 years. Okay. This doesn't even faze me. All right. I've seen things that, during the COVID times, during 9/11, the crash of 87, 41 and a half years, I've seen it all. So really, to tell you the truth, it doesn't bother me. You know what bothers me? When I go out there and I got to deal with the insane world. Here, I feel secure. And here I feel that this is my environment. With that being said, we saw the markets drop. So we saw the markets getting really ugly and they got kabooshed. Then we saw a big kaboom on the upside. Then we saw another kaboosh. If you calculate the amount of S&P points today, okay, they were down 115, something 120. They rallied 130, that's 250. You're talking almost 350 points roughly. The NASDAQ had to be over 1,000, right? Can you imagine this volatility? Right. But guess what? So many people in my live room, my live room, my community did so well today. I'm just so pleased and that everybody did well. That's all I really care about. Right. So we got we saw the markets drop, kabooshin, we saw kabooms, and we saw a kaboosh at the end, and we saw a little mini kaboom at the end with a 40 handle rally and about a 100 handle rally on the NASDAQ. Again, these are times when you're on the right side of the market, and we were practically all day. And when you see a drop like that, boom, I couldn't believe it was 50 points, and then it dropped another 50 points on the S&P in the next 15, 20 minutes. So again, what caused this is the tariffs news, right? The markets were deeply, deeply, deeply oversold at one point today. The S&P futures and the spiders were 21. So that means that they were 220 points away from the daily moving average, which I'll show you. The spiders were 22 points away. Now that's 22 from the standard deviation of 5. So I said to myself, I'm not shorting them down here. Now there was a great short pattern at 1035, 1040 that crushed them about 25, 30 points. Then I said, I'm not shorting them after this. There's no way in hell. This deep oversold condition. And I said at 11:10, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a point that they're up on the day. At one point, the NASDAQ was up over 100. The S&Ps, when they were trading up 58.75, I think they were up 14.15. So these are violent, violent times, and you just got to trade what you see, right? Somebody was long Palantir, probably around a lot lower, but the stock was trading 88, 87.5, 88, and spiders and everything. And he's, I'm not allowed to give investment advice, right? So I don't give investment advice because I don't look good in orange. So basically, the person said to me, what do you think? I said, I can't tell you what to do. I said, but I'm calling shorts. You figure it out, right? And the person got out right near the highs, okay? Tesla, at the end of the day, dropped 15, okay? Palantir dropped almost 4.5. NVIDIA dropped 4, okay? Meta dropped nearly 10. Avago dropped 6. These are violent, vicious moves. MSTR dropped 15. Coinbase, kabooshed, dropped 10, okay, or 9, not 8.5, 9, okay. So again, what you have to realize here, you have to buckle up, you have to trade with confidence. Join my live stream each and every day. You can text me at 914-500-7484. I'll tell you how to get involved. But the patterns here are just unbelievable, unbelievable. And again, I've seen it all. It doesn't faze me. A lot of people are starting to get used to the volatility. All right. And for me, I think the most important thing is that when you're trading the market, just keep, when you have markets like this, right? Obviously, you have to put your stops in place. But when you have markets like this, right, you have to be able to, like we're in the short, just keep lowering your stop. If you're long the S&Ps on this last push down to 68, now they're trading 12. Do the math, 32 and 12. 48 points up, okay, right? Just keep raising your stops. Just keep playing with their money. If you're short, as we were around the what time was that? About 320, 325, right? As it's dropping, just keep lowering your stops. You could take a little bit off. If you're short, just keep lowering your stops. Now I did not expect 100+ point drop or 400. I mean, I was looking for 20, maybe 15 to 20. But guess what? It just dropped like a knife. You didn't even have a chance to cover. That's how violent that move was. And I've been doing this a long time. And I will tell you this, okay, they go down a lot faster than they go up. Okay. Now, let me just show you a bunch of great trades. First of all, such great trades that everything lined up here and pretty much everything lined up at certain periods of time. Today, we had the 1035 short, 1040. That dropped. I'll show you that. And then there were so many great patterns. The 130 pattern, the 240 pattern, and I'll show you them right now. First of all, I'm going to just show you Bitcoin here, all right, because this is really important, all right. Now, I know with the president yesterday, once Bitcoin got the buy reversal right here on the 15-minute time frame, I knew the lows were in for the day. And that actually, when all the 15-minute time frames reversed to buy around 1 o'clock, despite actually the QQQs reversed to buy at 12:30 on my indicator for my algorithm. That was the start of it. And then the spiders, the diamonds, and the Russell, actually the Russell and the Q's did it first at 12:30. Then the spiders and the spiders and the diamonds did it at 1 o'clock. Once those buy reversals kicked in, I have to tell you, I knew the lows were in for the day. And I stated it, I published it on X, okay? And then the 30 minutes reversed to buy at 2 o'clock. But let me just show you this Bitcoin strategy, right? So here we got the 15-minute time frame reversing to buy. The MACDs are positive here. The ADX is starting to turn up, all right? And then you can see the 30-minute time frame reverse to buy right around 1 o'clock. So now that I told you that one of the biggest, the most powerful strategies are when the 30-minute time frames align with the 15-minute time frame, all right, and or the 60-minute. So the 30-minute is so powerful, all right. Yeah, there are strategies when the 15-minute time frame correlates with the 30 and the 60, but I'm telling you, when the 30-minute time frame aligns and correlates with the 15 and or the 60, in this case the 15, it is so freaking powerful. Okay, now when the 30-minute time frame reversed to buy here, you can see the yellow dots into the blue. That means you better not be short. That means the price action is going into the upper part of the algorithm. The ADX is rising. So when the 30 correlates with the 15, what do you look to do? You look to buy the first pullback on the 5-minute time frame. The 5 got oversold into the rising ADX, positive MACD. The guy who sold Bitcoin at 84,496, guess what? He jumped. He jumped. And look what Bitcoin did. Boom. Okay, 4,000 points. I'm sorry, let's see, the low, 3,000 points. Okay, 3,000 points. Look at that. That's 3,000 points in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 bars. Okay, that's an unbelievable pattern. That first pullback, okay, after the 30 correlates and aligns with the 15 is the strongest pattern. The strongest pattern. I'm going to show you on MSTR as well. The strongest pattern, right? And then after that, you get your second pullback, okay, and that one would work, but it's not going to go 3,000 points. It'll move 800 on Bitcoin, maybe 1,000, 500 to 1,000 points. But most of the time, I would say 94% of the time, that first pullback with the MACDs crossing from below the pivot, the ADX rising, the 30 correlates with the 15. That first pullback on the 5-minute time frame is this is it. Like if I'm walking by a roulette table, all in, right? Okay, so that's that. All right. Then you have another pullback here, okay, and then it just traded up, about 600-700 points, and then it got kabooshed at the end of the day with the rest of the market, and it set up the 15-minute time frame right there. I'm going to show you. Let's see. I'll show you. A very, very strong stock today was SMCI. Now, SMCI was really, even when the markets were making new lows, SMCI was very, very strong. I caught a couple great longs on this. I caught this nice pullback here on the first. I caught the first pull after the buy reversal right here. I knew the lows were in. I caught this long right here. The first pullback, oversold, positive MACD. So this never even looked back here. This 37.96. I was buying this around the 38.30 all the way down. Okay, and you can see it rallied really nicely here, about $1 from here, almost $2 here. And then when you get the pullback here on the 15-minute time frame, oversold into the positive MACD. And then here's the big pattern here when the 30-minute time frame reversed to buy. All right, the 30-minute time frame reversed to buy. Then what do you look to do? You look to buy the first pullback on the 5-minute, right around here towards the end of the day, and it ran roughly, probably about 80 cents. MSTR was a great long here today. MSTR, again, obviously it followed Bitcoin. You can see, let me just show you this strategy here, right? When MSTR, first of all, when MSTR pushed down this morning, the MACDs on the 60-minute time frame did not confirm. And I actually told, when I taught my my other stream from 8 to 9, I said these are the names I'll be looking to buy: MSTR, Coinbase, right? And when they push down to new lows here, 237.21, it ricocheted right back up. Look at it; it just ricocheted like $16 off the buy divergence off the 60-minute time frame. When the 15-minute time frame reversed to buy, I knew that the lows were in for the day. Okay, and then what happened? Okay, you can see, looking at the 5-minute time frame right here, this was a great pullback right here. Again, you're getting oversold into the rising ADX. Beautiful pattern. This ADX rose the entire way. But then look at this pattern right here at 235, the oversold condition on the 5-minute into the positive MACDs, rising ADXs, big buying pressure. Guess what happened with this pattern? This is an absolute Picasso. The third, so we're at, what time was this? This is 2:35. Watch this pattern. Boom. The 30-minute time frame, reverse to buy right there at 1 o'clock. So in the 30-minute time frame, again, I'm showing you reverse to buy. It correlated with the 15. The ADXs were rising about the 15 to 30, and later on the hourly. But forget about the hourly now. The 30 and the 15. ADX is rising. The MACDs were positive. The 5-minute got oversold. MSTR, you see what this thing did? At 235, MSTR ran $15. Roughly $15 on MSTR. This is an absolute Picasso. Okay, this is a beautiful strategy here. Sorry, move it to the 5-minute. This is a monster long. Okay, sorry, 274.10 all the way. Look at that, 293, almost $19. $19 on MSTR. Okay, I mean, look at the S&Ps now. They traded 68. Now they're trading 57.68. Now they're trading 58.25. These are wild, wild markets. Okay, you can see the volatility down, up, right? The guy who bought the 58.75 and 3/4, he jumped, right? The person who sold the 57.44s this morning on the S&P, he jumped. All right. So again, this is wild markets, and this is not something to be fearful of. I was talking to somebody today. They said our volume's down because people are scared to trade. Are you kidding me? Not in my community, right? Our community, they get right in there because number one, they have technology, right? They have the confidence. They have me as a mentor. They have the ability to see and trade what you see. All right. So many great. Let me just show you this one pattern this morning on the spiders. And this was a monster bear flag off the 5-minute. So we made the new lows here. And this is the only time I think I took a set short pattern. All the other ones, like at the end of the day, was off the bigger time frame. But this is off the 5-minute. So you can see the MACDs are negative. The ADXs are rising. The big selling pressure. We caught this really beautiful short, 576. And they dropped 25 points on the S&P. Now, even on the push down here, okay, they could not make new lows. The MACDs turned positive. The ADXs were off. And I just knew, based upon the extreme oversold condition on the daily and on the 60-minute time frame, that the markets were deeply oversold. And at 11:10, I said to my community, you know what? There's a good chance it's going to be up on the day. And they actually were up on the day. NASDAQ is now actually up on the day here, okay? But the S&Ps are still down 31. But the thing I'm trying to say is when you have these deep oversold conditions, right, and you know you're still in the bull market, the weekly and the monthlies are still bullish. And everybody was betting today that, I don't even look at it, the 200-day moving average, which comes in at 57.20. Well, I don't look at that, right? And guess what? I said to my friend, we're not going near that. Forget it. We're going up. And we did. And they're still going up right now. After 70 handles off the low at the 340, at the 350 time period. All right. So really a lot of great patterns here. Like I said, just looking around here. Yeah, everything's up. PLTR is actually up $1.50 after the market. Looks like here Nvidia's up 2 right now. After Meta's up 4 here, S&Ps are rallying here. When I get back, I will tell you what I'm looking for tomorrow and what to expect. So I'll be right back. Okay, so for tomorrow, again, I expect a lot more wild markets here. Remember, we have the employment number coming out on Friday, which is a big number. I'm still leaning to the bullish side here, okay, based upon the deep oversold condition, the distance from the price of the moving average, even though we just rallied 70 points on the S&P in the last, in the last hour here, per se. I'm looking at the 30-minute time frames here. The MACDs are positive here on the 30-minute. The problem you're going to have here is that the MACDs are not confirming any move up here. I do believe if we do get to this overbought condition, and I'm going to show this to you in a minute, I think the market's going to keep stalling. There's a ton of overhead resistance here. For tomorrow, if we do get any type of volatility and push down to new lows, well, number one, you have positive MACDs on the 15-minute and on the 30-minute time frame, so that's going to be a shock absorber. So that means any new lows tomorrow, from yesterday, today, right? If we get any push down to new lows, so if that 57.44 gets violated, or the S&P's 20, or the Nasdaq futures 20,075, I think it was, right? If we get any push down and make new lows, okay, today's lows, if they're violated, those positive MACDs on the 15 and the 30-minute time frame are going to be like a shock absorber and then ricochet right back up. So, and if we push up, I would only look to short the market on extreme overbought conditions on the 60 and 30-minute time frame. Forget the 15s. On extreme overbought conditions on the 30 and 60-minute time frames, I would look for shorts and then look for pullbacks as long as these 30-minute time frames are still intact here. All right. Again, we have the employment number coming out on Friday. Let me show you what I'm talking about on the daily here. Just bring this up here to you. Actually, I'll just bring up the daily on the spiders here. You can see this real negative pattern. I'll move this. This is where we pushed up the last 2 days, right into the 10 bar, right below it, hit again yesterday. And you can see the distance. We're 19. Well, right now, we're actually less than that because we just rallied 5 points. So we're only 14 away because right now 581. You can see it's higher and this is the post market right now. So only 14. So we're about 140 points away. And again, if we get this push up here, okay, and get this oscillator to look like something like this on the overbought, I think the market's going to have a ton of overhead resistance here. I think we're just going to keep, going back and forth. The highs on the S&P, 61.66, should hold for a few months here before I think, probably sometime in the third quarter, we're gonna probably trade higher to 6,500, but not now. I think the tariffs things are just temporary. I think the president's trying to make a point. I don't think it's gonna hurt the economy. I live here in Jupiter, Florida, and I gotta wait an hour just to get a table for two. Okay, so but with that, I just want to say that for tomorrow, any push up to any new highs, okay, from today, I would be looking to fade the rally, look for pullbacks, and if we do get any kind of caboosing tomorrow, okay, I would, especially on new lows, I'd be looking to buy them, especially with everybody having this number, this 200-day moving average coming in at 57.20. All right, I don't see that being violated, and if it does touch it, it never breaks it the first time. It'll touch it and then slingshot right back up anyway. So that will be the type of moves I'm looking for tomorrow. Okay, when I come back, I have so many stories I want to keep telling you, but then a new one pops up that I have to just bring it to your attention, and it's really important. So I'll be right back. In my 41 and a half years in this business, I told you I literally sit down and I look at all the stuff. I just, okay, I'm gonna talk about this one. I'm gonna talk about this one, and then I end up talking to somebody, and guess what? I have to bring this to the forefront. So there's someone in my community, great person, love him to death, right? And decides to take a position overnight, okay, betting on the market in such a way that he was bullish coming into today. Well, guess what? Market got kabooshed, right? And thank God the market rallied later on at the end of the day, and he was able to exit the long position. And I just asked nicely, I said, so how'd you do today? He said, I didn't do much. I just was holding on to all my capital was being used up on that one position. And I said to myself, so you just watched the markets rally 135 points up and 100 handles down. And I said, you do what you want with your money. But again, you're betting on something that was going to happen, and it didn't happen. The market dropped instead of rallying early in the morning. Overnight, it rallied up like 15 points on the S&P before in the Tokyo session. But I said, and now you want to be able to do what? You want to now you can't trade the rest of the day until you became even or profitable on that, because all your capital was used up. What I'm saying here is that I can't tell anybody what to do, right? And people can have their own minds, their own decisions. But the most important thing is to be able to have the freedom to be able to come back the next day, not to hope and pray. That you do if you're a religious person. You go to church, you hope, you pray, you go to the pier, you go down to take a walk, you pray to, right? There's no praying in trading. There's no praying in trading. You ever see the movie A League of Their Own? There's no crying in baseball. There's no praying in trading. Period. Right? There's no praying in trading. I can't emphasize that enough. You trade what you see. You have an opinion, leave it at the doorstep. I don't read a book. I don't listen to anything. I watch the Cartoon Network and I watch Fox. That's it. I have the most basic, and I have ESPN. I have the most basic cable. I think my son threw in a whole bunch of TV shows. I didn't watch them. I watched three things: the Cartoon Network, Fox, and ESPN. That's it. Okay? So the point I'm trying to say is I have no opinion. Nobody's bigger than the market. But now, because of this lesson, the person learned, very wisely so, right, that you don't come into the game. If you want to be an intraday trader, if you want to be able to take advantage of the volatility, you leave your positions, your thoughts at the end of the day. At the end of the day today, someone in my community was long Tesla calls. And I said on the highs, and I'd be looking for shorts, and that person heard me, and I said, so-and-so, I think they're going down. And to hold the position overnight, I don't think that's prudent, but you do what you want, and I would be out of the position. Boom! Sold them. Stock dropped 8. A stock dropped 10 at the end of the day. Okay? My point being, you're not bigger than the market. Okay? Don't be your own worst enemy. So that person learned a very hard lesson. Thank God that person came out of it, right? From being down huge in the early morning. Market rallied, got out, but he was unable to trade during the day because his capital was tied up. Very important lesson. Okay. I had so many other things to talk about, but where am I going? Right. I'll just tell you another story tomorrow. But again, these stories come to me and I want to bring them to you so you understand, and please don't make these mistakes again. All right. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe, leave a comment, and also follow me on X. If anybody has a question or wants to reach out to me, please text me 914-500-7484. Join my community. We're really booming here. So many people are doing so well. I'm so proud of my community. It's growing every single day. We're in over 100 countries around the world. Thank you for joining me. God bless, and God bless the United States of America. Be well. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.
Thanks for tuning into the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe on YouTube at Trade Easy or on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love for you to rate, review, and join our community for more real talk and market insights. Until next time, keep trading and stay sharp.